Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zaid, and I'm one of the founders and CEO of SCALINQ. And it truly is my pleasure to be here with you today and tell you a bit about how we spun out from a 2-decade-long research at Chalmers University in Sweden to help advance quantum computing. Now, I decided to be the pessimist in the room today and highlight the kind of industrial challenges ahead of us. And one can argue that these can be boiled down to 4 major challenges: qubit control, qubit quality, error correction, and of course the media favor, which is the number of qubits. Now, there are many efforts being done from multiple angles to tackle these challenges, and successfully so, especially on the software side. But there is still a common denominator here that is the bottleneck in the hardware across all these challenges. And that's exactly why we at SCALINQ are focusing 100% on hardware, and especially enabling hardware. And the first problem we decided to tackle is the lack of viable commercial solution sample holders for superconducting quantum devices, especially for larger devices. Now, usually, to develop one's own sample holder, one would need specified competence, access to expensive equipment, but also time to develop, test, and procure. And the problem here is that researchers are actually investing their limited resources into solving solutions that's already been solved. And that's exactly what happened in Chalmers. And that's also exactly why I'm proudly standing here today and presenting the community with Linker, a unique sample holder that is highly adaptable, highly scalable, allowing large-scale qubit devices regardless of dimension and qubit count. And the solution is patented, fully tested, and is also saving thousands of euros and months in development. And of course, performance is at the core of our R&D. And for once, we are focusing largely on the shielding. With our magnetic shielding, a unique setup, we're allowing 100 times more improvement shielded compared to the surrounding environment. We also have a highly adaptable PCB, which doesn't only allow one sample, but multiple samples in the same packaging solution. And that's, of course, very game-changing, because right now the field is all about qubit characterization, right? And allowing you to have multiple samples in the same refrigeration cycle is really invaluable. And lastly, we have the user-friendliness, of course. We are removing the error prone of connecting and deconnecting the wiring every time you're switching samples, and the only thing you need to do is actually switching your carrier in and out with the old one. And the reason how we managed to focus on the small and large details in our design is thanks to this amazing founding team. We have 2 decorated quantum physicists who work on qubit characterization and design on a daily basis, a decorated microwave engineer with an entrepreneurial background, engineering MBAs who work at startups and hardware commercialization, and this is of course combined with a legal advisory board and a business advisory board that's constantly growing. Now, this team has found an amazing opportunity. The field of quantum computing, like many other industries, is moving towards more outsourced R&D and standardized components. And what we're doing here is that we're taking this new concept of quantum engineering and bringing it to one particular region in the full stack. And that is closest to the qubit device itself, in the 10 millikelvin region. And the goal is to develop superior knowledge in that region to help shape it. And we are very well on the way of doing so already. Now, we have our first sample holder already out in the market, helping researchers across the world. We already have 2 new products that will be deployed before the summer of next year. That will then be followed by our next flagship project, which is a sample holder hosting up to 1,000 qubits by the beginning of 2024. Now, this opportunity is amazing, to say the least. The serviceable obtainable market currently is at 68 million euros, expected to reach 240 million euros within 4 years. And that's only with our current product portfolio. So already today, we're not reliant on the boom of the market. We're already making a difference. And the way we are addressing this market is twofold. Partly through direct sales to the usual actors in the market, our research institutes, commercial manufacturers of quantum computers, but also universities. But we're also setting up collaboration with vendor-based hardware actors, where we're trying to combine our value propositions so we can offer a modular plug-in research solution to the community. Now, SCALINQ's only been operating for 9 months, but the journey has been amazing, to say the least. We have managed to test, patent, and deploy a product family, established presence in 2 amazing ecosystems, both in the US and in Sweden. We have successfully secured roughly 600,000 euros in non-dilutive funding, and we've established a commercial collaboration, all while selling our first units. And this unique momentum that we have here is giving us an amazing advantage. On the one hand, we're in Sweden, where we get to own fully our own IP in the university, all while keep accessing these amazing research tools and the competence pool they have there. On the other hand, through Duality and through the amazing actors in Chicago, we get to access the US market, the network, the partners, and the collaborators. And the goal here is to use this momentum and become a leading supplier of quantum hardware in the coming years. The next step for us, close our pre-seed round by the beginning of next year, deploy our products before the summer of next year, the 2 new products we have in the pipeline, and triple our tech R&D in-house team by the end of next year. And before wrapping up, I would really like to emphasize again and again the aspect of collaboration in this field. I really would like you guys to reach out to me. Let's talk R&D, let's talk collaborative R&D, partnership, whatever, because truly I believe the way forward here to create fault-tolerant, functional quantum computers is to stop reinventing the wheel behind closed doors. Thank you so much.
Questions?
So firstly, is there any intellectual property behind your technology? What would prohibit one of the superconducting qubit guides to...
Yeah, we have 2 patents protecting it right now that are pending.
Okay, and what about the unit economics side?
So it's really a growing kind of unit economic size. It's kind of scaling with the inventory, and we just finalized our supply chain, gaining really profitable unit economics. However, in the coming products that we're aiming to deploy, it's completely different unit economics. It's not like a one thing per customer, but it's all completely different volumes. So we're not only a sample holder kind of company. That's very important to emphasize.
I see. And if you could maybe touch a little more on the market opportunity, because you showed a very large number, and ultimately the success of your company is tied to the success of certain architecture,
right,
commercializing and scaling and doing great things. So if that fails, then...
So that's a very good point. And SCALINQ is really not only a superconducting hardware company. What we're doing is that we're kind of accumulating RF engineering competence within cryogenic hardware. So this is equally applicable for space industry as well. It's something we're kind of having in the background. We have thesis people working on it in the background. So it's definitely something we aim on moving into slowly, but we need to have a niche focus and we need to be best at what we're doing to help make change in the field. So we're not going to diversify our focus just because it might be speculative in the future. Not for now, at least.